Do you think you should trust your co-workers? And if you're in the workplace, do you trust your co-workers?
I definitely think I trust my coworkers, but to an extent. I wouldn't share a lot about my personal life with them, like if it's something that's kind of going on at the moment. Maybe something that happened in the past, like I'm telling them about a funny story, but nothing current. I try to keep my private life to myself.
I love that. Can I just say I've asked a lot of people today, that's probably the most well-balanced, grown-up answer, because that is on point to what I would say, is you sound like someone who has boundaries and knows what to say and what not to say and not to get too close. So any advice for people because you typically learn from mistakes, right? And there are a lot of people that say, well, I love my work and, we're a family. I think that's really dangerous and where a lot of problems stem from, and that's the whole point of this social question. Any sort of top tips around keeping those boundaries? Because just finally to add to that, people do get too comfortable and they're like, well, I spend more time with them than I do my family. Exactly. That's not a good thing though, but yeah, any tips?
I think definitely kind of making it clear in your mind, like this is my workspace, this is my career, this is the whole nother part of my life. It's like I try, and maybe sound a bit crazy, but I try not to get too friendly with my coworkers, We still are coworkers first and then friends second, especially in the workplace. So respect your workplace as a professional setting. And if you're meeting your coworkers outside of that, it can be a lot more friendly, a lot more casual, but remember, they still have that responsibility back in the workplace. So I think it's making it clear in your mind that this is a different environment and it's a different culture as well. It's not like just hanging out with your mates. You can't use the same language and all that. So just kind of reminding yourself, like, this is a professional environment and you have to have a different etiquette around it.
I love that. And just finally, something that I'm trying to push is that when the worst happens and maybe there's an investigation meeting, when people say, I trust my co-workers, we're bezies, people can turn very quick when they have to pay bills and they're thinking, well, if I go into this meeting and I stick up for them, am I going to be black marked? Will this go against me? And that's where true colours sort of tend to shine through. So, I have to say this is probably the best answer I've had all day, and I've asked a lot of people. So you sound very well-rounded. Can I just ask you one more? From your answer, I'm going to assume you don't have any sort of toxic sort of environment, mental health issues due to the workplace, because it sounds like you're very level-headed, whereas so many people have the dreaded Sunday anxiety feeling. So you sound like you're very well sort of rounded.
No, definitely. I think in my past jobs and my past workplaces, especially when I freshly turned 18, kind of getting into the workplace, I was a lot more like that, anxious about going into work. But once I started to put those boundaries in place for myself, like especially mentally, like when I step into work, that's completely different than when I'm at home. And when I leave that space, that's completely different as well. So it took a lot of time and practice to kind of put that discipline in myself, but it's definitely very important for a healthy work life and just healthy life in general.
I love that. That is the best answer we've had all day. So thank you so much for your time.